Hey guys, doing? Welcome to the ultimate siege guide in Age of Empires Mobile for 2025, where I'm going to go through the best formation that you can be running right now, as well as some tips and tricks, including the siege machines that you're going to be using to actually pulverize your enemies in the Mightiest Empire, Golden Expeditions, and the Desolate Desert. So smash like, comment, and subscribe, and let's dive into today's video. So the first thing we need to understand with our siege formation is we are going to be taking advantage of the 4 free-to-play heroes that you get to start off with. So if you are beginning the game, or if you've been playing in the game for a long time, you should have access to our King Derek here and Josephine. The cool thing about these heroes is you should be able to 5-star King Derek really easily, which does make him fully powered up when you are going in for your main attribute stats, which is really important when it comes to sieging down. When it comes to Josephine, you can actually build her up through the Battlefield Survivor in the early phases. So if you complete all of those stages and get those chests, you can actually pump it all into Josephine. And with some time and spins, of course, you will complete this hero to a 3 to 5-star level for this formation. And because of this, we are going to be using these 2 heroes as a siege formation. And what's really good about this, I am also going to offer you guys a upgrade where you can just switch a couple of skills. And guess what? You're going to have a DPS match that you can be running for a 2-for-1 deal. So with that, the formation we're going to be running is Josephine, Armyy, and King Derek. And the lineup runs of triple siege breaker, as you want to call it. The first skill is on Josephine. Her skill is siege breaker with the combination of double attack. This is because Siege Breaker is a second strike skill, so the more attacks we can get off, the better. So double attack really does benefit this hero for obviously recovering units from her signature skill and now obviously hitting more siege. When we go to Armyy, Armyy has Siege on Plunder, and this is a active base skill, which is very powerful because it does deal a truck ton of damage, 340 to the city defense, but more importantly, increasing your siege by 20, and this is stacking up to 5 times. Being a 25% active chance, you can actually use High Spirit now to actually increase the chance of this going off, as well as Armyy's signature skill, which does kind of combine now with King Derek, because obviously when a match is routed, King Derek will increase the amount of might damage taken, just to give it a little bit of combo there in any sort of rally scenarios if you're using this match to siege down a flag. When we go over to King Derek, he is kind of the bread and butter and finishing of this lineup, because Fearless Runner allows you to increase your hero siege by 100, but more importantly, when you are getting fought in these siege scenarios and you're getting lost units, so basically dead units in these fights, well, you're converting 40% of those actually into gravely wounded, which saves you a ton of troops and sends them to the hospital to actually heal up. So your job is actually all about sieging down a particular building, and this is going to be super important in stuff like Mightiest Empire, in Desolate Desert, and obviously in the good old Golden Expedition, because you could be hitting enemy cities, you could be hitting enemies' walls, towers, flags, anything, gates. There's so many new objectives in the game that you can be using a march specifically to destroy that building's durability. And the faster you can destroy those durabilities, it means you can technically progress faster or be more aggressive in certain pushes in strategy. So Siege has become one of the actually most important marches in the game, and it's super free-to-play friendly to actually generate for your match. And on top of this, with this match, if you're a free-to-play player, you also have a little upgrade from it, because as we can see in the main formation, we are running these skills with the ring of Elephant, the ring of Laurel, and the ring of Rhino, which are the 3 rings specifically for sieging, which are 2 epic rings and 1 rare, which is super obtainable, including all of the heroes, giving it a 10 out of 10 rating. And the fact that there's no other heroes in the game right now that specialize in siege damage particular and siege warfare during down a destruction of a flag, these guys' viabilities and longevities are technically an 8 out of 10 because they're super free to play friendly, but yes, they are gonna get beaten in a fight, but compared to what their role is, there's no one else that does them. And what's cool about this is you can actually upgrade this March and just change it with a couple of skills. So if we look at this, if we run Josephine, we can change back to her epic skill, which is Sunder, and this is going to allow her to apply rout to the enemies. And with Hammurabi and King Derek, you can just change the 2 siege skills to Earth Crush, and you've guessed it, you've got now the full free-to-play Warrior Swordsman March that's all about dealing rout damage and increasing the amount of might damage taken to that March. And what's good about this, you can run the Ring of Daisy, the Tranquil Water, and the Ring of Deer, which are 3 super flexible rings for this March and for the future investments for your account. So that's what's really good. Formations for Siege. Yes, you can go from a Siege March to a DPS March pretty much on the fly for anyone that's going to look out for it on their accounts. So with this, we're going to go into now some more information to do with the war machines and sieging down structures in Age of Empires Mobile. But if you have enjoyed the video so far, smash a like, comment, and subscribe. So when it comes to all of your war machines, as you can see, there is 3 different types of war machines that you can be using, but 2 of them are the ones that you're going to be particularly using the most. This is going to be your trebuchets and then your battering rams. The cool thing about these 2 actual war machines is you can use them on enemy buildings, so of the walls, on the city gates, you name it, to destroy those buildings to enter the capital city faster. What's even better though is use them in PvP. You can actually use these war machines and more offensively to actually go towards an enemy building. So you can see this example from a Golden Expedition fight where our enemy Empire 22 was using a triple trebuchet combination with a battering ram to absolutely obliterate Brugatti here on his wall defense. And what this does with the war machines is if they break the enemy's castle all the way down to 0, it force teleports them out of the fight, which means you have to wait 1 hour until you can teleport back into the fight, which could be absolutely detrimental in PvP, in those desolate moments when you are trying to capture that inner city for the last time to get those points and win, but you get teleported out. So make sure you understand this, and this is all to do with siege. And this is why when we go back into the formation now, you'll notice when we go to Josephine, Hammurabi, and King Derek, you can run this formation in any particular order. However, I do think this is the best way of performing it, just because it does allow the most opportunity for technically King Derek to get any might damage synergy through the rout effect from Hammurabi. However, in the gameplay, as you'll see, in the defense from our own empire, we've got the King Derek up at the top, sieging down these war machines. And this is what's really good about these siege formations. They're not going to be just used for destroying flags, to obviously destroy walls and get into the Imperial City faster for these different game modes like Golden Expedition and Desolate Desert. You could be using them to save your bacon. You heard correctly. You could be using them to go out there and slap down these siege machines, which will catch the enemy off guard and take it out of their arsenal. So war machines, siege, super important in Age of Empires Mobile. And honestly, that is all you're going to be needing to know when it comes to the ultimate guide to sieging. If you go for that formation, you follow these tips and tricks with these war machines, your alliance and your empire will honestly perform better at destroying structures, which will allow you to be more aggressive and more strategic in your forward planning now in those PvP empire versus empire events in Age of Empires Mobile. So if you enjoyed today's video, smash a like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. And until the next one, stay safe, stay sneaky, guys. Peace out.